Good morning and welcome to Golden Grove Methodist Protestant Church on this beautiful Sunday morning. Happy Mother's Day. I'm grinning because we've had a little bit of technical difficulty here, and I've tried to make some adjustments, and I kind of got tickled a little bit. But it's okay. Luke chapter 10 and John chapters 11 and 12 is where we'll be looking in scriptures today, but you're going to have a little bit of time to look that up because I've got a few other things that I wanted to do to start with today. When I was praying and deciding what to do about today's message, I wanted to make it a memorable occasion, and I found some pretty good things to share today, I think. I tried to use a variety of perspectives since we have a variety of mothers. We have newborn mothers, we have children and teens and older adults, stepmothers and adult children, adoptive mothers, even mothers that are not mothers, but they're mothers to other people's children, and mothers who have already gone from this world. So I want to share a few things today that I found. And first of all, I wanted to give you a little bit of instruction. If you haven't gotten your mom's card yet, these are some things to not write in your Mother's Day card, okay? Do not put these things. Dear Mom, I thought I should give you the very best this year, but you already got that when I was born. Don't put that in. Don't put that in your card. The next one says, to whom it may concern, I have the best mother in the world. I know because she's only yelled at me 3 times today before she started slamming the cabinet doors. Probably not the best message for your Mother's Day card. Okay, this one is probably at the top of the list of not to write, but I saved it for last, okay? Mother, today is your day to take it easy, so just relax. You only have to do half of what you normally do, and then you can clean up after what we've done tomorrow. Right, moms? Okay. Now, I found this next thing in a writing, and I'm not sure who the author is, but it's so beautifully written that I just wanted to share it with you today. And it's a couple of paragraphs here, so bear with me, but it's really good, I thought. You may rise to positions of great influence in commercial, political, or professional life, but you can never reach the heights of your mother's secret hopes for you. You may sink into the lowest depths of infamy and degradation, but never below the reach of her love. The memory of it will always stir your heart. There's no man so entirely base, so completely vile, so utterly low that he does not hold in his heart a shrine sacred and apart for the memory of his mother. It was your mother who loved you before you were born, who carried you for long months close to her heart, and in the fullness of time took God's hand in hers and passed through the valley of the shadows to give you life. It was she who cared for you during the helpless years of infancy and the scarcely less dependent years of childhood. As you have grown less dependent, she has done the countless, thoughtful, trouble-healing, helpful, and encouraging things which somehow only mothers seem to know how to do. You may have accepted these attentions more or less as matters of course and perhaps without conscious gratitude or any expression of your appreciation. Some of us are now considered to be entirely independent of our mother. The ties with which dependency has bound you to her may be severed as you grow older, but the tie of mother love can never be broken. God's best gift to man is salvation. The second best is that of a mother's love. Though certainly we are to press toward the mark, there's no way that we can live up to being worthy of salvation. Therefore, no one can ask more of you than that you shall strive to live as to be worthy of your mother's love. As I said earlier, I have something to include mothers of different ages. So the next thing I have is for younger mothers. And I'll walk down memory lane for those of you who may have been younger mothers at one time. Don't you wish you had a nickel for every time you tied those kids' shoes? Okay? It never fails that if you've got on a new outfit, whether it's for church or for work, whatever, that they're going to come and stick that foot up on you and need that shoe tied. Leaves a little mark on your clothes. So when I was teaching kindergarten long years ago, I wrote this little poem, and the title of it is Shoe Smudges. It seems my shoes, though small may be, need tied an awful lot. But here's a little thought for you that just might hit the spot. Someday I'll learn to tie them too, and you will surely miss the smudges from my shoe soles upon your brand new dress. I love you, Mom, forever, and I really thank you too for taking care of me while I'm small and just for being you. The next writing that I have has no author attached, so I'm not sure who wrote it, but as we grow up, we start to have the feeling of independence, and otherwise known as teen years. And we feel like our parents don't understand what's going on, and sometimes we don't understand what's going on inside our own bodies, and sometimes we just think they're the meanest people we've ever known. So this writing is for the teen mom. The meanest mother. I had the meanest mother in the world. While other kids ate candy for breakfast, I had to have cereal, eggs, and toast. When others had Coke and candy for lunch, I had to eat a sandwich. As you can guess, my dinner was different from other kids. My mother insisted on knowing where I was at all times. She had to know who my friends were and what we were doing. She insisted that if I told her I'd be gone an hour, I'd be gone for an hour or less. I'm ashamed to admit it, but she actually had the nerve to make us kids work. We had to wash dishes, make beds, and learn to cook. I believe she stayed awake at night thinking up things for me to do. By the time I became a teenager, she had grown even meaner. She embarrassed me by making my dates come to the front door to pick me up. And while my friends were dating at the mature ages of 12 and 13, my old-fashioned mother refused to let me date until I was 16. In spite of the harsh way I was raised, I've never been arrested, and all my brothers and sisters turned out okay too. I guess we owe it all to our mean mother. She insisted that we grow up into God-fearing, honest, responsible adults. I'm grateful to God that He gave me the meanest mother in the world. And the last writing that I'll share today is for those of you whose mothers have gone on ahead. It's written by a man named Marty Phillips, who is a songwriter and publisher friend of ours, and when his mother passed, this is what he wrote. Would I call you back? Oh, yes. Just for a moment, let me see that rocking chair occupied. Sit and talk with you early one morning. Yes, I think I'd be nearly satisfied. Hear you pray, giving thanks for your family. Hear you say, I love you, dear. See you smile. Would I call you back? Oh, wait, just let me ponder. I'll think about it now for a while. Would I call you back? Oh no, not for a moment. Too much pain, too much toil, too much strife. You're there with Him, your soul-keeping Savior, He who paid your fare from this life. and so many dear loved ones before you welcomed you when you entered that home. Would I call you back? Oh no, not for a moment, but I'll see you soon. Let's look now at Luke chapter 10. We'll start with verse 38. And I'm going to have to pause just for a second to grab my tissues, my handkerchief actually. Stuck it in my bag and it was in the wrong pocket at that. But let's look at Luke chapter 10. We'll start with verse 38. Now it came to pass as they went that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house, and she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister hath left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me. And Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken from her. Sisters. We have here two sisters who are very different. One was cumbered, that word meaning hindered, by much serving. The other one chooses that good part of worshiping at the feet of Jesus. Sometimes we as mothers need a reminder that we should choose that good part which shall not be taken away from us. I've got good news and bad news all at the same time. Those children grow up. They'll go away from us. Our job as parents is not to be their best friend, but to guide them. Now, if that's done right, you will be their friend. You'll very well have some wonderful adult friends who happen to be your children. But sometimes we forget that we're teaching them to choose. We're either teaching them to be cumbered with much serving, to be, sorry about that, you'll notice that you had a sudden change in your video. Our recording cut off in the middle of the message Sunday, and we've been trying to figure out what's going on with that, and it's just taken us a while to get all of these bugs out and get technology to work with us here this week. The devil's trying to get the best of us, and we're not going to let him. I started just to not post this week, and my husband said, yeah, you really need to do this. He said, this means, the more problems you have, the more somebody really probably needs to hear this. And so I pray that that's the case today. And I'm going to try to kind of pick up where we left off, and Sean's going to edit these tapes together, hopefully, and we'll get this out as soon as we can. You notice I'm at home, and it's 2 days later. This is Tuesday now instead of Sunday. I was intended to get this done Sunday evening, but we went to visit with some friends and just didn't get home until late. And then yesterday, just had a rough day, didn't feel so great, and so took it easy for yesterday, and we're trying to get this taken care of. And I hope that this is meaningful and that it touches somebody's heart. I know it will, because it's God's word, and he tells us his word does not return void. So I was saying that at that point in the message where we left off that we sometimes forget that we're teaching other people how to choose, whether to choose the good part or whether to choose to be cumbered by the things around us. And we're guiding our children, we're guiding our co-workers, we're guiding all kinds of people. And we're supposed to be guiding them to be Christians. Sometimes, though, we get caught up in the dirty kitchen and the dirty laundry and the floors that need scrubbed and the mess that the kids left and their toys laying everywhere. But those things don't really matter. I mean, Sunday I said, here a mess, there a mess, everywhere a mess, because that's kind of how we feel as moms, I know. But we forget that those things are temporary. They're of this world and they really don't matter. We forget, because we're in the middle of all these things, we forget to be the example of that sister who chooses the good part that can't be taken from her, and to worship at the feet of Jesus. Whether you're a mother or not, and even the men can gain something from this, because you do it too. We all tend to try to get too busy. So we have to all remember that we're examples, whether we want to be or don't. We're still examples. You just choose whether to be a good example or a bad example. So what example are you setting? Look at yourself, examine who you are and what you're doing. Are you caught up in the things around you that's keeping you from doing the things God would have you to do? Are you too busy cleaning up and worrying about the dishes and worrying about the laundry and worrying about all these earthly things, moms especially, all the housework, besides the things you have to do outside the home? Are you worrying about all those things more than you are concerned for being the example that chooses to sit at the feet of Jesus and worship? What example are you setting for others, for your children, for your spouse, your friends, your co-workers, everybody? And in these days, we can't afford just to be nonchalant about our Christianity. We have to make sure that we are being the example, because we may very well be the only example that some people see who sit and take time to worship, truly worship at the feet of Jesus. So I want to encourage everyone today to be that sister. Be the sister who chooses to sit at the feet of Jesus. Be that kind of mom. Be that kind of dad who takes the initiative to show their children the way to Jesus. Again, I apologize for all of the technical things and the lateness of this, but I just pray that because it's late, somebody will see this that normally wouldn't have watched. And we thank you for joining us for our message for Golden Grove Methodist Protestant Church, and I'm the pastor, Donna Sellers. And we do appreciate you. If you have prayer requests, please feel free to leave them. I know that I said Sunday that I was going to get to John, and I was afraid that would make the message a little too long, so I cut that off and didn't do that. So I'm going to save that, and so you have to tune in and watch again for next week, and hopefully we'll have the bugs worked out and we can be able to post when we're supposed to. Thank you again for joining us. We love you, and if you have prayer concerns, please feel free to leave them for us.